Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the 50 Digital Technology Solutions that every business needs. I'm Tamara Makabanga. I'm the founder and chief content officer at Alaking Creators, and today I am chatting with Alman. Alman, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi Tamara, thank you so much for inviting me to this exciting program. You're doing some wonderful stuff. Please continue with it. So my name is Alman. I'm the co-founder of Cogo People and Analytics that specializes in artificial intelligence, the implementation of that in companies, more specifically human resources. That's who I am.
Awesome. And what is your unique selling point at Cogo People and Analytics?
Well, our unique selling point. So what Cogo? Let's start off with telling you what Cogo People Analytics does, and then it will flow from there. So what we do on a day-to-day basis is we help companies to implement artificial intelligence in human resources departments. So we focus exclusively on HR and solving HR problems using artificial intelligence. Now, normally there are two practical applications of artificial intelligence in HR. The one is using data to create advanced analytics or people analytics with machine learning to help companies make better decisions and support their people better through understanding them and then making better decisions on that. And then the second application comes with process automation. That is where you take very level admin-driven tasks like completing forms or getting approval for leave or those type of stuff, and you automate it, which basically takes the admin burden away from HR for them to focus more on the people side of the business by letting basically software automate certain part of HR. So it's about decision making and automation. What makes us different is that currently we're the only company in Africa that specializes in implementing AI for HR. So there's a lot of companies that specialize in financial services that help banks, for example, automate processes, make decisions on debt or on loans and things like that. You get a lot of companies that assist in online shopping that helps with that machine learning decision making for that. Because in South Africa, we've got a large contingent of contact centers and support centers. There's a lot of awesome AI and chatbots out there that help in the contact center industry. But we're the only people focusing on HR and implementing AI in HR. So that is our unique value add, that we focus completely only on that.
Nice. Well, I did not know that you're like the only company. I assume that like this is something that another company could potentially be doing. So it is really interesting to find out that you are the only company right now that is doing this. So that is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, if you look at the journey of artificial intelligence, so AI has been used to solve, let's say, operational business problems. Mm-hmm. And people have been using it in marketing. I mean, my wife that works for Red Bull, they use advanced analytics to understand the consumers so that they can package or place their product better inside a retail store, for example. And like I said, all the other industries have been using AI. But human resources has been very slow in adopting AI internally. And that's the reason for it. I mean, if you look at actually globally, really using advanced analytics in HR, I would say globally is maybe 5 years old. It's 4 to 5 years old on a global level. It's only people understanding. And the reason for that, and excuse me for getting technical, is that the advancements that we have in big data and machine learning is allowing HR, because it's a very different thing. For example, to try to forecast weather by looking at weather patterns, which is semi-unpredictable, but you would know that if there are certain things that happen outside and you measure that it could be rain or it could lead to snow. Like, for example, in Cape Town now, there's no clouds. That's why if you look at the data, it's probably telling you that the next half an hour it would not rain. It's easier to forecast, okay? However, to forecast human behavior is not easy at all, okay? We need a lot of data regarding a person to understand them. and then you need to process that data. So although HR had lots of data for years and about, I had worked for corporate for a long time, they had a lot of data about me, but they did not have the technical capacity to work with that data, understand the data so they can understand me better, so they can help me grow personally and professionally better. It's only in the past 5 years that people have brought in all these technological advancements of big data, machine learning into HR that's allowing HR to do the cool stuff. 5 to 10 years ago, the tech simply didn't exist.
I see, I see. Yeah, that's awesome. So as Cogo People and Analytics, like what is the number one problem that you solve for your clients on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Because when we started the business about 3 years ago now, we thought what we are going to do, we're going to transform South African business and African business. We're going to give them this artificial intelligence and give them all this data, and then people are going to run these reports and understand everything better. But when we started dealing with corporates, and by the way, it's a global issue, but it's especially dire in Africa and South Africa, is the people's data is simply not ready for artificial intelligence. So what could happen? We go into a client and they say, yes, I want to forecast my employee behavior so I can understand them better. I want to know tomorrow better. I want to know Elman better. And then as an employer, I can support them better. But then the moment we come in, we understand that their HR data, so their people data, is sometimes not even digital yet. So they still work on paper forms, etc. So if you've got any process or any data still on paper, then you can't have a machine analyze the data. Yeah, so you need to digitize that first. Secondly, a lot of the data is siloed in different systems. So they'll have, if I went through the entire employee life cycle, they have my recruitment data as a candidate before I started working for them in the recruitment system. Then they've got all my payroll data, like my leave, etc., in the payroll system. Then they have all my learning and development courses I went for in the learning and development system. And then all my performance management data is in the performance management system. It's not talking to one another. So if you can't, for you to understand a person's behavior, for you to understand me, you need to understand how I behave in many circumstances. So you need a lot of data points for that. So we find that people's data is siloed. It's not integrated, so the data is not talking to one another. And then lastly, the data is what you call it's dirty or it's not clean. What we mean by that is you are a candidate, so somebody entered your ID number and your name in that system. But when they create a payroll, then they use, let's say that's perfect because you need to get paid. But somebody made a spelling mistake on your name in the recruitment system. Then when you went on a course sometime in the past, they mistyped your ID number. So what happens if you now throw all that data together? It's one person, but it now looks like three people because there's different ID numbers, different names, and so forth. So a lot of the data is not clean. So what we actually do now, most in a day-to-day basis, is we consult with clients to help them make better sense about their HR data, to help them clean that data, to help them integrate that data, to help that data flow between the systems. Because once that happens and the data is clean and flowing, then you can do the advanced analytics and automation. So on a daily basis, that's what we do mostly now, is helping clients create that foundation for AI to take over. And I think that the second part we work a lot on is the actual training, because a lot of HR people, when they come to university, they don't study tech. They don't study data analysis. Now they're in a role where they need to work with technology all the time, and they need to work with data all the time, but they don't understand how data flows and data works. So we do a lot of actually corporate and individual training to help upskill HR professionals in understanding AI, in understanding systems, and understanding data analysis, that would empower them better than to do their work.
Awesome. That sounds like absolutely a lot of work, but also interesting work. And I want to find out, like, in your opinion, what do you think has been the biggest push towards like integrating artificial intelligence and advanced learning into the HR department? Do you think it is because like machines are just better at understanding like hiring process and making hiring decisions, making firing decisions, making recruitment as well as like upscaling employees than humans are? Do you think that machines are able to better understand people than humans, or is there another reason for this move?
Okay, so let's start off with the reason why we are going in this route. Companies have forever said our people are our most valuable asset and we value our people. Yet they treated their people like numbers.
Mm-hmm.
If we look at how they work with stock control and they analyze the stock and fleet management, they've got a lot of trucks, for example, and even how they analyze their cash flow and everything. So a lot of analysis and stuff in there. The FD knows exactly where every rand is spent. If you ask the HR director, what is Tamara doing? For they to go in the system, you are employee number 10,822, and they don't really understand you. So that's one of the reasons why it's coming in. It's because we want to treat our employees like humans. But to treat them like humans, we need to understand them. We need to turn them from a number into a person where we understand their behavior, we understand their fears, we understand their desires, we understand their weaknesses and strengths, we understand how they operate and how they think and how they feel. And that's why one of the reasons why AI is penetrating that. The second reason is the department that was tasked with managing the people and helping to grow the people, the HR department, was so bogged down with admin and paperwork and processes that they couldn't focus on people. That was my frustration when I was in HR in big corporates, that I went into HR because I like working with people, and I ended up working more with paper and processes than actually with a person. So the other reason, and this is where the automation comes in, if you can reduce that paper burden, that admin burden from HR, and free their time up to be employee facing, to actually work with the line managers and work with the employees. So that is the two reasons why AI is really getting into HR now. It's because it helps us to treat people like humans and not like a number. And it also helps us to free up admin time. So I think that is the reason why it's being implemented. It's quite good reasons. The issue that we always get is that what you just asked about, can machines actually make better decisions than humans can? And essentially what we're all worried about, I mean, we speak in HR, but if you look at the future of work, we're all worried in 30 years from now on, is machines going to take over all the jobs? And if you look at driverless cars, I mean, where that is going, if you can have that, you won't need Uber drivers anymore. You won't need a truck driver taking stock between warehouses because a driverless truck would do all that type of stuff. So it's things that we asking about the future of work. Now, I can't tell you, can machines make better HR decisions in 50 years' time? We're not there yet, and we'll see how it develops. Now, machines are not. Humans are still better in making decisions for the employees that they work for and the people that they work with. Okay, so they still better decisions, but where AI and machine learning and this data analysis comes in is that machines are better at processing data than what humans are. Like, for example, if I need to analyze leave and I've got 15,000 people, I need to understand, are there trends that what can I do internally maybe to support my staff better by analyzing leave trends, etc. For a human, me, to go through 10,000 people's leave reports for the past 5 years, it will take me decades. Even if I have a team of 30 people going through it, will take me years. But it can take a machine 5 minutes to go through that. Okay, so processing data, machines are better at processing data. Now, if you take that processing capacity, put machine learning in, it helps us identify trends that in data that is still too big for a human to really understand, or even a group of humans to understand. But what the machine learning algorithms do, it just highlights the trends for you. It doesn't make decisions on behalf. It's still the executives of the business to understand that data and then make good decisions based on that. So to answer your questions, no, machines are not better at making decisions, especially HR decisions.
Yeah.
But it's better data processing. Let me give you an example and you understand exactly what I mean. So I mean, we've corresponded a bit over LinkedIn to set up this show now, and then now we met for the first time today. My partner Jean, I've known him for years now. I've interacted so many times. So the data that I've gathered, it's a human. The data I've gathered about you is limited. It's a couple of LinkedIn things and now this discussion we're having now. While the data I have of Jean, my partner, I've read 10,000 emails from him. We WhatsApp each other. We've been social together. We've done business together. So I know him better. In other words, if we translate that, I've got more data about Jean than I've got about you. So that data can help me predict behavior. For example, let's say I send the same two WhatsApps to you and to Jean. And let's say it's a very specific WhatsApp. Because I don't know you, I won't be able to predict how you would react. But because I know Jean, I can guess quite accurately how he's going to react to that specific WhatsApp. Because I know more about it, got more data. And that is what we're trying to do with HR, is saying, okay, let's get so much more data from an employee so that we can guess how they would react in certain situations. And because if we can then accurately guess what they'll be doing, then I can support them better. If I can accurately guess that training program A is going to be better than training program B, then I'm not going to send all my salespeople on one sales training program like I did in the past. I will literally know I've got 30 salespeople. These 5 people, I'm going to send them to that program. These 2 people to that program. Those 10 people to that program. And I can tailor make training for them. Why? Because I understand them better now. And I know I'm going to support them better. The same thing comes with incentives. We want to get the best productivity, incentivize people, but people are incentivized in different ways. But now we've got benefit programs, so it's a one-size-fits-all. You get money, you get provident fund, you get pension fund. There we go, you're now a happy employee, which is not that. You might have people that say, you know what, I come from a rich background. I don't need pension fund, but I would like 10 extra holidays a year because I like to travel. So it's a better incentive for me to stay with your company if I can get 25 leave days a year instead of 15. While somebody else, they might have kids and like me, and I'm worried about if I'm going to retire. I want a pension fund. On the contrary, I might want a bigger pension fund now than I used to when I was 20 years old. But unless a company understands me like that, they won't be able to incentivize me as individualized as that.
That is awesome, honestly, Alman. And I can tell that you are truly passionate about what you do. Like, you can just hear that you really know what you're talking about and you truly want to make a difference. And that is really absolutely brilliant. Okay, so let us move on to the final question of the day. And this is the question that I ask every single guest. And it is, so if at Alaking Creatives, we have adopted the strategy called the 5 Wants framework, and we encourage our clients to choose one product or solution, market it to one target audience through one traffic source using one conversion method, and doing all of this for 1 year. So if Cogo People and Analytics just had to do this for the next year, how would you implement this strategy?
It's a good question to ask how we'll implement it. I can first comment regarding the strategy, and I think it is a good strategy, because if you look at business to business, the type of stuff that we work into, you need to gain trust with people. You need to build a relationship with them first before they start trusting you, getting that sales meetings and everything. So communicating with the same person over a year, using the same channel, the same type of message, I can really think it could definitely work. So I think it's a good strategy. How we would implement that. I mean, I'm sure you know it's a very unique strategy. I've never heard of it, but to speak with the same target audience about the same thing for a year long, I think it's a powerful way of getting market penetration to go into the market, especially for startups like Cogo, because we're unique in what we do. So one of our main advantages going forward is the fact that we're first to market. Okay, we are small, but we are first to market. So if we can communicate with our target market consistently, in their minds forever, we will be first. So although lots of people will join the market in next year or in 5 years' time, we will always be first. And that type of communication is a very good strategy to put that across, to help protect our first to market.
And it's the brand.
Yes. That's all I can contribute at the moment. I'm sorry.
No, that's absolutely good. And like I say, like I really hope that more people would understand the strategy and how it works, and actually like take the time to sit down and think about it and implement it, because it could definitely benefit your business. So Alman, I did not want to take too much more of your time. Thank you so much for being here and sharing everything that you know about Cogo People and Analytics. And I really hope that everyone would take a look at the company, because what you're doing is truly amazing.
Oh, thank you, Tamara. I really appreciate it. And thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll catch you again next time for another episode. Bye for now.
Bye.